I want to talk to you about this morning about our November offering coming next week. It's part of our practice. It's something we started a few years ago, but I want to give you a little bit of insight towards that. But I thought I would just give you a little funny story that I've started to really like. A hen and a pig were staring at a sign, and the sign said this: "Help feed the hungry." The hen says, "We should donate ham and eggs to the cause." The pig says, "For you it's a contribution, but for me it would be a total sacrifice." There's something about being called to do things. This offering coming up is a beautiful part of what we do. I wanted to pause this morning because we don't do it enough. We forget to say thanks when we look back to our past. There was a season of time that was very difficult for Westside. Our grass was overgrown, our building was broken, and there was no team surrounding us. We were out of volunteers. They had scattered to and fro throughout the city. And I was thinking this morning of what I would call Charlie's Angels. There were 3 significant people, volunteers, that jumped in early. The only problem is, Charlie's Angels was typically 3 wonderful women. One of the angels was a man. I want to tell you about Rick, Karen, and Gina. You see, Rick for over a year ran the entire Sunday morning, every service, volunteering early, making sure the coffee was ready to go, the offering plates are ready, taking the money, collecting it, sorting it, delivering it to the safe. And he ran it, and a team of people, all under his leadership, for long over a year early on. And then we were blessed with Karen. Karen came up and said, "Bobby, I am taking a course in change management, and I think I can be a real good service to you in some of these early days of changes for Westside." I said, "Yes." "How much is it going to cost us?" She said, "I'm willing to work for you for 1 year for free." That's a good deal. I had her for over a year, and after the end of that year, I remember the sad day she walked to my office and she said, "I have some really sad news for you. Today is my last day of volunteering. We are moving to Vancouver. We have created an entire program, and now you have to implement it." And I went, "Oh man, this is going to be a lot of work." Well, that was at 11. Gina Weeb walked in the office at 1, and she said, "What are you up to?" And I said, "Well, I lost a celebrity volunteer, and we've got a whole big plan that we've got to unfold, and I need someone to run it." She goes, "Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I'll give you a year, but it's free." And I went, "Well, this is even better." The same day. And I want to say this: Westside, you guys are amazing. That everything you see is the hands of a Westside that is owned, delivered, and followed through at the toughest of times to the great season that we're in today. And we want to show a round of applause to say thank you for all of our great leaders. Our offering coming up is a real step of faith for us. It's a new rhythm. We've had it now for a couple of years. We shoot somewhere between the money ideas of around $150,000 to $200,000. It is not a budgeted item. And it's a chance for us to share the vision. Here's where we believe we want to go. And this is an important rhythm for us, that we would participate. But as this is a step of faith for myself, for our team, and for our leadership, it's a step of faith we would ask of you. And I just want to say it again. It needs to be said over and over. Man, I love the church. I love the church. I mean, it isn't perfect all the time. But boy, it is something beautiful. Today, in between services, just had a chance to jump in and pray for an awesome mom that's walking through a challenging situation. I'm so glad that our church uses your leadership team. Prayer all over the place. A few weeks ago, we were praying for someone in the front row, and I got done praying, and someone from Westside jumped in and said, "I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to pray too for this guy." That's what I love about Westside. It's what I love about the church. And it's what Jesus said in Luke 4. He said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to preach good news to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, proclaim freedom to the captive, recovery of sight to the blind, and set free those who are oppressed." And Jesus said we're going to do it through the activity of local church. Jesus gave himself to the gospel message to be done in community, and local church was his way. Each November, this offering we use is to expand what we're doing and to move us forward in the things that we believe God is asking us to do. And I want to say it this way. We want to leverage the great work of our past. There was a season in time when Westside rented this space. And one day it opened up with a few little twists and turns of property. There was a chance. And everyone arrived on a Sunday like this, and the announcement came that if we raise X number of dollars in today's offering, we get to buy this facility. Thank God that we were led and you responded. And today we own some of the best acreage, I believe the best chunk of land in this corner of the city that is going to do great things. And we see entrance and ring roads and all the stuff that's happening. Wow, we have inherited something special, but we want to leverage it for what we believe God wants us to do. So here's what we want to do with the offering that's coming up. This is always a challenge because, it feels a little bit like a family dinner table. Everybody's got the things they want. You know it's coming up, Christmas, and you're going to get your list. Here's the things that we want, Dad. I know exactly what it is. And boy, that's how it is for us as a leadership team. But we believe these are the things that we have to take care of right away. We want to say thank you to the city. I call it the drive-in. We now have a brand new driveway and a new set of lights that are coming. Compliments of the city of Calgary. Thank you for being so generous to us. It is valued at approximately $500,000, and that was a gift that they gave to us. They said, we can't wait for you. You're too slow. We'll pay for it. Are you okay with the gift of a $500,000 intersection? I think that's good. Apparently, they're looking for some really nice curling rinks for the Olympic bid that is coming. So we're hoping we can leverage a brand new building right out of the next move that our mayor and the town are going to do. No, that's not going to happen. Please don't put that in your mix. But we have to leverage it. So we need some dollars for security, for gravel, for some of the things that we have to now take care of because of this new entranceway. So we have to put some money into our land. Secondly, I call it this, the tap-in. We got the drive-in, then we got the tap-in. 16 and a half, almost 17 acres of land. But something changed a couple years ago. We have part of our land that is commercially set up for development. Therefore, the tax structure is different between a church and a commercial part of our land. And our tax dollars went through an incredible hike. It went from about $9,000 to over $50,000 in our annual budget. We were not prepared for that. We have made adjustments, as you can see in our budget slide we showed you earlier, but this has changed, and we're doing some work with the city on how we can recoup some of that. But that has radically shifted how we have to move our budget moving forward. We have an incredible land, we have incredible value. The value keeps going up, but it costs us to maintain that. So we want to make sure that we have that in support of moving forward. Third area that's really important for us is so many of you are enjoying our changes. We've made this building work amazing. One of the gifts of the ATCO gas line and the ring road, compliments of the ring road, is every time we looked at future development, this building would have to be torn down, or part of this building would be torn down. Now, as we have done with some of our repairs, this building, as long as the lifespan stays healthy, we can build with this still right beside us, and this can be leveraged for rental options in the future, used for our community as we already do now, and of course it would make an awesome gym for our generational ministry. Apparently, it can be a Fortnite hub. That's what the rumor is going around the building right now. So, but we have this space, 28,000 square feet, that really helps us as we leverage into new facility. So we continue to upgrade that. And so we want to finish some of our renos that we started a year ago. You're enjoying them today. And especially when we think about how it fits and the vision that we're doing. And the last part that we really want to do, it's really important as far as I call it the back seat of the sanctuary. We have started to notice that because we're long and narrow and we are filled, that our sound only goes so far. There's visional things that we would like you to see a little bit of a closer up. Sometimes I feel, you know how you're ready to go for a ride and you get stuck in the back seat? Some of you like the back seat. But some of you, they're getting your kids settled in next door and you end up getting a seat that's a little bit further back. We want to be sensitive to that. We want to do some audio and some tech changes to make that work incredibly well and make it work better for us, our time while we're here. So those are our 4 parts that we are asking God for to help us in this offering. So what do you want from me and you? Here's what I think we need to do. Number 1, we want to say thank you. We can never say thanks enough for the rhythm of givers and generosity. I said it earlier, but it's got to be said all the time. We do what we do because of your generous contributions to all that we do, and your talent, your time, and your treasure that you give to us. So we want to say thanks. The second thing we want to say is this. It is important for us always. This isn't a deal you're making with me. You're not going to grab me after the service and say, listen, here's what I think. If you do this, I'll do this. It's not a deal between you and me. It's between you and the Lord. And it is our job always to inquire of the Lord, to ask of God, what do you want me to do? What does God want you to do in regards to your generosity and your giving? It's a beautiful faith moment, and we want you to think about it in that way. You're an extension of God and what God is doing in us and through us. For some of you, this is a normal practice, and it's just what you do. You just go to prayer and say, okay, God, here's what we're going to do. You sit together with your spouse or your family. You call your mom like I used to do and say, Mom, listen, I'm out of money. You got to write a check for this church. We got to get this thing going. I can only give so much. Oh, dear, that would be just wonderful. I don't know how it works for you. For some of you, you're going to inquire of the Lord, and you're going to reach out to someone else that maybe isn't thinking about generosity in local church, but that's the leverage that you're going to do in your relationships. Whatever it looks like, you're going to inquire of the Lord. Ask of the Lord. And for others, I want to encourage you with this, as we talked about it last Sunday. For some of you, you love church. This is a new thing for you, but the idea of being generous or giving to a local church is brand new. You've never done it. And as this roadway now, as we said last week, there's this new thing for us. We see this traction that's coming into our facility. For you today, I want you to consider participating regularly in a giving rhythm. That might be $100 a month or $20 a week, whatever way, 2 coffees, however it works for you. But say, I want to leverage the idea of what's going on, and I want to be committed to something that's a brand new way. Let this offering be a push for that. And lastly, it's this. We do everything with faith. You can't do the journey with God without faith. So our giving, our activity, our stepping up. I think of Kristen today. This was a new act of faith for her. She is sensing God's call in her life. But to lead in a communion service with David, it's another action of faith. Every one of you in your leadership gift and talent, you have stepped into actions of faith. Our giving, our resources, is activities of faith. So let's look at the faith that God is asking for us to move forward. So next week, we're going to have an awesome offering that we're going to bless the Lord with for the future of what we're doing. And we want to say thank you for participating. You're awesome. It's a privilege to serve you as a leadership team and a community to be a part of.